Jeff Cochell, we got the Wonder Years, we got some boys do the Belly Zoom effects, do channeling Carriage, do here we go, man. Espresso is a really different drink from brewed coffee. It is made by passing water rapidly through relatively tightly packed coffee grounds under high pressure. The rule is that the oils and other products in the coffee are more fully extracted than under the coffee brewing conditions, and the taste is considerably richer than other coffee brews. A typical cup of espresso contains about 1.5 to 2 fluid ounces, much less than a cup of coffee. But also, coffee contains more caffeine per fluid ounce than coffee does. Thus, the amounts of caffeine in a cup of coffee and a cup of espresso are about the same. While an average cup of coffee brewed from Arabia beans contains 70 to 100 milligrams of caffeine, the average cup of espresso contains about 60 to 90 milligrams. So why do people believe that espresso creates more of a caffeine buzz than coffee does? Perhaps because of the higher concentration of caffeine in the espresso. When a drug is more concentrated in a certain solution, it tends to be absorbed more rapidly across the membranes of the stomach and small intestine. So even though a single espresso solo may have the same amounts for caffeine as a cup of coffee, its more rapid results can result in a more rapid onset of the caffeine effects and a great feeling of a rush. Of course, the double espresso contains twice as much caffeine. Other coffee drinks such as cappuccino, cafe latte, and cafe mocha are generally made by adding a single shot of espresso to other ingredients. So the caffeine content of these drinks should be roughly equal to that of a single espresso, but less concentrated. Based on this information, it's basically impossible to present a single table description describing the amount of coffee in coffee drinks. Remembering that these broad averages are based on a survey of the pharmacological and dietary literature. Tea leaves are harvested from bushes that are grown mostly in India, Indonesia, and Sri Lanka. These are of different qualities depending on how far out the stalk of the bush they grow. Generally, the bud leaves, which are closest to the stalk, are considered to be highest quality. Leaves are dried and allowed to ferment, which allows them to give an orange hue. They are used to make black teas, however, some leaves are not fermented in this way and remain green. Green tea leaves are brewed from these and found in most Chinese and Japanese ranchs in the United States. In general, a cup of tea will contain less caffeine than a cup of coffee. Although there is more caffeine in a pound of fermented tea than a pound of coffee, that pound of tea might be used to brew 3 times as many cups as a pound of coffee would. In addition, the amount of tea in a cup is often less than the amount of coffee. By traditional standards, the amount of caffeine in a given cup of coffee may be considered on different factors. As a general rule, the following guidelines are defined ranges in teas as found in the food science literature. There are well-documented positive effects of both green and black health. Studies have shown that people who drink 1 to 2 cups of coffee a day are most likely to survive a heart attack than those who drink tea. It is not clear why there is a protective effect, nor is it clear if it only applies to heart attack survival or cardiac health in general. Sometimes scientists think that the protection comes from the antioxidants contained in the leaves. These compounds may contribute to lowered contained T levels. It's important to know that the positive effects they may be the source of naturally stress-reducing chemicals. A recent well-designed study found that people who drank caffeine contained that the components of DAC over a single period were able to manage stress than those who drank a cup of coffee. The consumption of caffeine sodas in the United States has been on the rise for a number of years. Some people are possibly by the gastric effect that is often associated with the acids in coffees who prefer to drink caffeine-containing soft drinks. In general, the amount of coffee per soda is considerably lower than in coffees, but a typical serving of soda is 12 ounces compared to 6 or 8 ounces for coffee. The general range of doses of soft drinks is about 20 to 50 milligrams. The diet drinks contain the same amount of caffeine, though sometimes more, because they're non-diet equivalents. Energy drinks. The term energy drink is not exactly accurate. These caffeinated drinks do not actually produce more energy, but they can create a feeling of alertness, and even a solid does because of their caffeine content. The concentration of caffeine in this product is often twice as high in the regular caffeinated sodas, although the serving sizes are smaller, about 8.5 ounces, compared to 12 ounces for a regular soda. And most come in smaller containers. Most of these drinks contain about 50 to 70 milligrams of caffeine. Actually, these drinks have the reputation for providing a big caffeine boost. They actually contain about the same concentration of caffeine as coffee does, maybe even a little bit less. 200 milligrams to say that exactly on the mark. These drinks also contain any number of additional compounds that fall generally into the category of supplements, like ginkgo biloba, taurine, ginseng, B vitamins, and sugar. We will not address in this chapter, but some of them are discussed in other chapters, and the energy drinks are also discussed in the chapter on stimulants. So we read all that the energy drinks are relatively new in the U.S. beverage market. Red was introduced in the United States in 1997, and the sales grew 60% from 2008 to 2012. Mining energy drinks has also become popular, and people believe that energy drinks enhance the pleasant buzz of the alcohol and diminish the depressant effect. Although this may appear to someone who wants to drink and not sleepy, there's danger. If a person feels he's unimpaired, he might feel that drinking more alcohol is safe when it is not. In general, it's always wise to be wary of combining drugs, particularly when there have been a few studies of their interactions. Still, the combining alcohol and drink when ready to sell. Perhaps the best known is Four Loko, which is sold in 24 ounces. It contains 12% of alcohol and a high dose of caffeine by a blast. In fact, I contain the nickname Blackout in a Can, or can cover it. Pretty popular with college drinking scene. Obviously, the use of these drugs have little to do with energy and everything to do with rapid and sustained intoxication. However, after multiple reports of alcohol-related illnesses, Four Loko came under scrutiny of the FDA and was on the ban on 4 college campuses. The current product contains some doubt about just as alcohol, and ranges from 6 to 12%. In addition to energy drinks, there are many energy drinks formulations on the market. It can be mind-boggling to stick through all these claims about how they provide energy and good health. But the caffeine is they rely on caffeine for a higher effect. Some people think that this is a good idea to exercise as energy drinks. Although the caffeine might make you feel alert and motivated to exercises, it will also promote dehydration and can decrease physical performance. It's important not to confuse these products with sports drinks like Gatorade, which has no caffeine and is rich in electrolytes that the body needs while exercising and afterward. The flying table shows the caffeine content, the usual serving size, and number of energy drinks and sodas. Chocolate. Chocolate is made from the bean of the thermally cocoa bush, which contains a unique zycone called timothyl. Average cup of coffee may contain as much as 2 milliliters, but this compound is much less potent than caffeine as a stimulant. However, chocolate also contains caffeine. For example, 1 ounce bar of Baker's chocolate contains about 25 milligrams of caffeine. A 5-ounce cup of cocoa may contain 15 to 12 to 20 milligrams. A cup of coffee contains about 100 milligrams, and 1 Fuchs Energy Mint containing 100 milligrams. On the other hand, a typical 8-ounce glass of chocolate milk generally contains less than 10 milligrams of caffeine, and 1 Hershey Kiss only contains 1 milligram. One final note about chocolate: caffeine and theremin may not be the only psychoactive ingredients in it. A recent report has indicated that 1 component of chocolate is very similar to the natural chemical in the brain that interacts with our THC receptors, to which the psychoactive compound in marijuana binds. Although the concentration of this compound is quite low in chocolate, it is estimated that it would have to eat 25 pounds of chocolate to stimulate the receptor as much as a typical dose of marijuana. Overall, caffeine is fairly safe. It is healthy for a person to take. Generally, levels that affects most people experience are gastric upset or nervousness or pain. As people age, they will have more problems with sleep, but it's not one of their consumption in the afternoon and evening. Post-community monarch can result in severe side effects, with a couple of people trying to steal off your sleep. So important that the caffeine may allow you to keep sleep at bay. Sleeping is very important biological needs. It should not avoid for very long.